Hello and welcome to an anime tier list thing. I have. Okay. Now, I want to preface this. This is just stuff. It's going to be more interesting when I get to the end of the year and I do everything. I've decided that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to be a cluster. But and there's going to be some surprises in there because there's going to be shows that I pick up and watch independent of them airing seasonally. Okay. This is a tier list for this season. I want to preface a couple things. First, there are we got 1, 2, 3, 4 shows here that have not finished. So we'll go from there. Let's now. I want to preface this that my favorite is 1. There's only 1 that could go in here. All right, this is a single tier list. This is my absolute favorite of the season. Okay, so when I pit all my favorites against each other at the end of the year, it'll be interesting. Let's begin. Let's start with the bottom. Let's go from the bottom. Welcome to the Elf Zone. The joke tier. I picked the show because someone said it was a good manga, and honestly, it was just lewd. Look, I'm not saying that lewd content doesn't have a place or lewd content shouldn't exist. I'm more saying that it wasn't anything fantastic. It's not bad per se, it's just blah. It almost feels like it has no. It feels like the voice actors are giving it their all. The voice actors are great. But it feels like the rest of the team was just not gonna go anywhere. So it is what it is. Next in the low tiers. Sorry everyone, but here it is, the Cafe Terrace and its Goddesses season 2. What can I say about it? It's a harem show. It's not great. It's not. Yeah. The quintessential quintuplets, it is not. But I don't know. It's fine. If you want like lewds, the second season seems to be a little more toned down on the lewd factor. Like there's still some of it, but it's not as. I don't know, but I actually was invested in the characters, and when they added 5 other girls that were basically support or supports for the other 5 girls, I kind of started to just lose interest in it. So I'm not trying to be mean to the Cafe Terrace and its Causes. If it's your favorite one, that's fine. The ending in it was okay. I honestly think it wasn't bad. But it's an in for a penny, in for a pound. If they announce a season 3, which as time of filming, they have not, I'll be in. But just like I'm gonna watch that next season of Rent a Girlfriend. Look, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I just have to keep. If I start watching it and I'm like even remotely invested, I'll keep watching it. If I start watching it and I just completely get turned off, I won't watch it at all. Is what it is. All right, next. Yeah, let's keep going from the bottom. What do you guys to go here? 2.5D Ririse, or I believe it's Seduction. which makes no sense as an English title. It's just her name, just 2.5 Diverise. Sometimes I wonder about you guys who pick the English titles. First half, not great. First half was very not great. The last couple episodes after the 12 mark have been better, but I'm still not sold that it can go up into a better tier. Okay, next. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Or as I like to call it, actually. Alia gets propped up by other anime property and marketing division. Voice acting, animation, and the characters are all decent. But my god, did it feel like they were meandering 12 episodes. I feel like a lot of people would have dropped this if it wasn't for the stock scene. I'll leave it at that. I'm looking forward to the second season because I'm hoping it'll prop it up to at least a good. Because there are all the pieces here for a good show, but it just doesn't hit. It's never running on all cylinders. Okay, continuing to go in backwards order. Atari. This one dropped a lot. This is one of my favorite ones. Is in the top 4 in my last list, if I'm not mistaken. And it just dropped down here to good. It's actually going to be at the end of this segment, mostly because that ending art just felt weird. It didn't feel like a good true ending, but it is what it is. What do I want to do next? My wife has no emotions. There is a lot of humanity in this show, a lot of really good voice acting, and acting in general. The overall show is good, and I understand why he does what he does. However, as a show, it just kind of ends, and I feel like there's definitely more to the story. Reading the manga is hypothetically possible, but I don't think I'm that invested that I want to do that. Dungeon people. Dungeon no naka no hito. People inside the dungeon. This show's been weird. And weird for the fact that it's a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's a show that either you love it and it clicks with you, or you hate it because it's slow. There's a lot of mundane in it. It is very fantasy slice of life with a splash of excitement here and there. I say a splash because it's literally all it is. It's never anything super crazy, but that is what it is. Okay. What is next on the list? Do I want to start popping in the next tier? Or do we have one more for this one? Shiko no Konoko no Kokoshi Ton. Look, I know this is going to be a hot take. This show's hilarious, but it's hilarious because it plays on a lot of things. There's a lot of wordplay in it that probably makes it not as fun for you. But honestly, I really enjoyed it. If it's definitely a show that is built around having a certain level of knowledge. Okay, now to the very good category. Wonderful Precure. Wonderful Precure is a beautiful and wonderful show about magical girls, friendship. Um, there is, family. I absolutely adore it for a couple reasons. The main character, Iroha, well, one of the main characters, Iroha, she's a terrible liar, like an absolute terrible liar. And when, her parents ask her what's wrong or something, she's one of those people that it's written on her face and she's so easy to read. Um, the cast this time around is fantastic. Even the boy, uh, Hirogaru Sky Precure had its moments, but I feel like the way they wrote Tsubasa, the boy, and made him into the know-it-all, and he'd mansplain things, just took away from what makes Precure great. It's supposed to be friendship, uh, being nice people to get being nice to each other. Like, I don't know how else to describe Precure besides just being a pure and wholesome show. It is meant for kids, but that doesn't mean there aren't adult themes in it or themes that, as an adult, you would want to explore or follow. If you're learning Japanese, it is a fantastic show for that too. Especially Wonderful here because there's all the animals. There's so many things you can learn just passively from watching a show like this. Highly recommend it for that. Next. Okay, this is gonna upset people, but it's still airing, so is Wonderful Precure. Wonderful Precure is not done yet. We'll see how it turns out. But Monogatari, the side stories, it's so good. It's so good, but it is not done yet. So I can't be like, am I right? Be like, this is my favorite show, because it might be, but I can't, in my right mind, say that. It's not fair to. That is not fair to shows that actually finished. VTuber Legend. VTuber Legend is a show that I think is like a time capsule for right now. It is the most this time period show I have seen in a while, or like a few years back. Whereas the like VTubers are starting to just get popular enough with people, and now they're kind of just a thing that people acknowledge. It is very good, like a very good show. It is funny. It has funny bits. It has bits that are a little more serious. I cannot recommend it enough, honestly. I think it is super good. Is it going to be a show that withstands this test of time? Like, of the shows this season, is this going to be one of the shows people go look back and go, man, show was great? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the future of VTubers is. I don't know what the future of the anime industry is. But I want to hope that it was a good one. Okay, so that means there's 3 left. And I'm gonna just narrow it down to 2 now. Nier. It's Nier, man. It's so good. But did that ending not leave me just a tiny bit hollow? Feeling just a tiny bit. But it was kind of beautiful in that way. I don't want to talk too much about it since it's season 2. They dropped some plot lines from the first season, but that was to be expected because you went from one timeline into another, or different one. Near Automata is like absolutely Wonkadoo. It's a pretty good adaptation. I mean, I think the game's still better, but it's still a very good adaptation. Now we have 2 shows left: Gigi Harem and Akane, or Too Many Losing Heroines. This is tough. This is honestly tough. Like everything else, I knew was gonna kind of fit where it fits. But I'm actually gonna make myself choose one this time. I don't. Sometimes I cheat and I'm like, yeah, like I think last season I was like, yeah, yeah, yep, these two were the best of the season. And honestly, that's a cop out. It's not fair. And it is what it is. So let's, in the most broadest strokes, talk about why these 2 top my list. It's for similar reasons, actually. It takes the romance genre, both of them do, and does something with an established trope and turns it on its head. Gigi harem, and the fact that you have a one woman harem. With it's in the title, it's a pseudo harem, and I absolutely love that. It's, you're letting the voice actress show her chops, and it's honestly probably one of the most beautiful endings I could have expected, and for the show. So it is fantastic in that regard. I know some people didn't like it; they found it boring, or the bit fell apart on them, and I get that. The harem kind of takes a back seat later on, for sure. But you know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show. Now, Too Many Losing Heroines, on the other hand, also is a show that takes the concept of a love triangle and breaks it. Now, I don't want to imply that everyone, like the triangle, like the girl who loses in the triangle joins Nukumitsu's harem or something, because I don't think that's what the story was going for at all. He's he's a much better person than he lets on. He feels unworthy to be around these girls, and he's just a loner. He's kind of a broken person, but they're broken too for other reasons. Now, do I want to stay? How do I want to explain this? The concept of all the losing heroines, meeting up with this guy. Do I think all the girls are into him? Maybe. I feel like they understand who likes him the most. And I don't want to get into it, or who he likes the most. It's very sweet. My one problem with the show is that it ends and the story's not complete. So, at worst, it's light novel bait. At best, it's we're waiting on a second season announcement. With the amount of hype and fan art and merch from it that I have seen out in the wild in Japan, I would be very surprised if it doesn't see a second season. But in the bubble that is this season, in the bubble that is this season, it takes second place. I still love like most of these shows. I have high hopes for the ending of Wonderful Precure. Because Wonderful Precure's not done yet. Monogatari, Rise, Alia. I may have to wait longer for Alia, but Rise is going right now. So I think this is how I want to do the fall. Well, sorry. This is the summer season going into the fall. And this is the one I'm going to post. Nope. You go into summer. Cancel. Hold on. It's going to be a problem. As I save this, and I will post it. If you want. Or you can watch the whole thing where I explain my choosing for everything. Somehow that ended up in SpongeBob mocking case. But whatever. Honestly, it's a pretty good season. There was one other show I finished, but I'm not going to include here. But it'll be included in the overall roundup for the year. Mostly because, one, I didn't talk about it before. Two, I binge watched it in 2 days. Which is dumb because it was 25 episodes. But I did it. So, yeah. Honestly, I think it was a pretty good season. I want Alia to stand on its own 2 feet though. 2 feet. 2 feet. Because I find it's been propped up by so many other things with all those like crossover endings and whatnot. And I feel like it is popular by only Yuki alone. Which is fine. You can have a character carry it, but the show's called Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feeling of Russian, not Yuki has a crush on her brother or loves her brother to death or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't say she has romantic feelings for him, but they're very, very close. Like, hilarious sibling close. But I think that's it for me for this week. I was going to do a double feature and do a tier list for the current airing ones I'm watching. Actually, we can do that quick if you want. You can just stop watching now if you don't want to see anymore. But here we go. Here we go. I'm just gonna use the SABCD tier here. Let's start with the show that left the lowest impression on me, but I still thought was pretty good. Kinoko Inu Ko? Yeah. Whatever. It's like Mushroom Pup. Very depressing show. Very depressing first episode, but also funny. So we'll leave it at that. I believe it's Tying the Knot with an Amali sister. It can also go here. It's fine. The girls are great. It's one of those shows where it's almost set in stone who he's gonna pick from the hop. I feel like a set in stone. I feel like I know who he's gonna pick, and I don't. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. The middle sister, the sister that's his age, is the one he's probably gonna end up marrying. Because the younger sister, she's just having fun with him, and the older sister, she's ditzy. But you know, we'll see if I'm wrong or not. I like the older sister. She's funny. She's very cute in her ways of doing things. But that's that. How I attended All Guy Mixers. Honestly, the first episode was funny. I don't usually like the D tier things, but it's probably gonna be its own joke tier anime, unless the next couple episodes are real good. This is where it gets a little tough here. What is this title again? Oh, I did the crop. I don't want crop. No crop. There we go. Megurumere, Magical Girls Incorporated. Honestly, pretty fun. It was a very fun first episode. I feel like the one girl is a little too inept. The girl who's already a magical girl. But we'll see where it goes from here. Very fun. Controversial pick. So, Sumasho. Sumasho Bakusei Ninaru. If my wife became a middle school student or elementary school student, I know it sounds like I'm making I'm making excuses or whatever, or it will sound weird. Honestly, it's a hard show to explain and give it the proper context and the proper, because you'll say the title to someone, they'll be like, "What the hell? What is this? That's disgusting. What?" But it's not true. It's not. It's like super wholesome. It's this man's broken, and like his wife's dead. She's been dead for 10 years, and he's just been broken. As a man, he's just been broken, and she just walks back into life as this 10-year-old, and there's 2 episodes up of it as of right now. Oh, I don't have Dandadan here. Dandadan's A tier. Real good, but real weird. I just noticed that. I forgot to grab it, but that's fine. Sumo is honestly probably gonna be that one show of the season where I'm like, this is super beautiful, but it's super beautiful in like a bittersweet way. That's the thing, because she's a 10-year-old now, and he's probably getting close to pushing 40, if not pushing 40. And I don't have to teach you how math works to realize how bittersweet that is. But all right. Stories from girls who couldn't be magicians. There's a lot to unpack in the show, and I think this is the anime original for the season. I've been told, and I've been talking back and forth with one of my friends. It's going to be one of those shows that I'm hoping goes somewhere. There's been a lot of hints dropped in the first episode. If you're paying attention and you have someone to talk about with it, it gets super interesting. I noticed something right away But I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched these yet because they're just out there. Oof. Okay, this is tough because I think these two literally are going to be, if they continue the way they are, all right, and we get to the end of the season, I think these two are going to be the ones that are on top for me. Like some of these shows can move up or down. The Amalia sister one is 24 episodes, so it will not end this year. So I will not be in the end. But it will be something. Yeah, I forgot to put Dandadan here. Dandadan will be an A tier. So right now, it's like this. Okay, but I would consider this both equal footing. The first episode kind of just sets up their character. There's a lot of 365 days to the wedding. There's a lot of things that aren't exactly said, but if you're paying attention, you'll notice. Whereas Kimiwa Medo-sama. Okay, honestly, I hate the English title for this, but the Japanese title would not translate. Why? Because it's a pun. I don't have time to explain it, but yeah. I also have Tombo season 2 on my list, but for some reason I cannot find it to watch anywhere right now. So when I can watch that, I'll watch it. But we're probably like 30 plus minutes here, but that's fine. That's fine. If you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, right? I honestly feel like this season is going to be super interesting. I know I don't only have like 9 shows. I know Dan's not here, but like I said, if you mean A tier, okay, fine, whatever. So grab Don. Okay, we're at pause. Here we go. Don. Yeah, underneath. This is subject to change, but here we go. This is so far shows I've watched this season that I think how I feel about them. I don't expect much from this show. I read the synopsis for the All Guys Mixture one and was like, "Yep, this is what it is." Kinoko Inu could go either way. This is a last second pick, the tying the knot with one of them. And I'm here. Look, I'm not gonna tell you what you should and shouldn't watch, and I'm just gonna tell you how I feel about stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. The first episode was fine. The second episode was, but unlike Rise this season, it doesn't feel like it's how do I explain this? Rise feels like it was meandering. So far, these first 2 episodes have given me a lot more to chew on and a lot more to understand the characters. At least the main character, and I understand the not tropes, but the character traits of the other 3. They did a very good job setting that up quickly and not over a lot of time. And now it's just shenanigans and story. So we'll see where they go from there. Honestly, I really like the first episode of Kimi wa Medo-sama. There's a lot to unpack here, and I think it's going to be a show so people sleep on because Dan's here, and it has been hyped to no end. And I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it's not deserving of it. What I'm saying is, it's going to overshadow a lot of these other shows. So, well, I haven't seen much of it. I've only seen the first episode. I'm not the lucky people who got to see the 3 episodes in theaters. We didn't have a showing like that, so that is what it is. I will download this one for download the image as first. First episode impression. And we will see by the end of the season how this turns out. So I want to thank everyone for watching. If you made it through this incredibly long video, thank you so much for watching. Please tell me your tier list. I still can pick up like, what am I at? 9 shows. I still have room for like 5 more. If there are 5 more shows worth watching this season, or if you look on my Mal, I can have it linked in the description below. If you look at my Mal, and there's a show from this year that I missed that you think I should watch, I'm not watching Oshinoko though. Oshinokoi? Whatever. Oshinoko. It's I'm not into that one, okay? I'm not into that one. I watched a bit of it and I'm not into that one. So, but feel free to send some recommendations in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter if you want. But as for me, that's it for now. And I will see you next week where we'll do something else. I don't know what yet, but we'll do something else. Dene.